It still says going live. We're probably already live. We are.
We are. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to a Friday afternoon live stream. We are here.
You are there.
Here. Exactly. You're with us. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you all in the virtual. We've been reading your comments, just trying to see where people's thoughts are at this Friday afternoon. Hope you've had a great week so far. We've had a busy week.
Yeah, we did.
Did some shooting, some filming, and the usual stuff around the shop. It's been very interesting.
We were taking some photographs.
We did do that as well.
Every now and then.
Just a little bit. So I've been noticing a trend with some of these comments today. Today we're talking about what your next photography purchase is, whether that be an accessory, a lens, a camera, something big. Maybe it's something that's on your wish list that doesn't exist yet. Maybe it's a photographic related educational thing. Maybe you're looking at buying a book or a course.
Who needs that? It's just gear. It's just gear, cameras and lenses. You don't need to learn how to take pictures, you know.
Maybe your next purchase will be a Nikon owner subscription.
Ooh.
See what I did there? I was going to say that very nice little perk we have at the moment for Nikon owner subscribers. If you subscribe or resubscribe specifically using the link in the description box, because it has to be that link, otherwise I don't know that you've subscribed. I have a small number of the new rugged Delkin Black 32 gig cards. They are forever updating these cards and just making them better and better. You know?
That's true.
Same as the CF Express ones. I've got about, I think, 5. So if someone would like to subscribe, you can do that. But do that either now or right after the live stream so that I can go and keep an eye.
True. When Samantha is always saying, "Oh, what you got on offer?
What
can you give me?
Yeah, exactly.
Give me
Why
a deal.
are you asking? What you got?
Exactly.
Well, I've got that. I noticed that Dixon very early on said that he was looking at his next purchase was going to be a trip, like to the Galapagos or something like that. I think that's wonderful. A trip, I mean, not everyone can... It's not within everyone's means to be able to do some of these trips. Yeah. But I'd love to do some of those.
And it's difficult as well because for me, it's like when I trip, not on things, but go to places.
When you trip.
I'd normally have to take my second half with me. And
your second half or your other half? Same difference. We say other
50-50, everything, you know. What's yours is mine, she normally says. You know, and I have to hide my cameras. So, yes. But normally I can't just go on a photography trip like as a group of photographers.
Dedicated photography trip.
Because the travel time we spend together, you see. So it's a photography trip for me, but I do photography myself. And before she tells me that we have to go somewhere else, you know, so like...
Quickly, let's just get the
quick shot, no time for set up tripod or anything like this, but quick shot, and then we're going somewhere else.
That's right. This is the problem with being married to non-photographers.
Exactly.
My family are also a bunch of non-photographers, although... my oldest does like taking pictures, but he usually says, "Mum, can take a picture on your phone and then send it to me because your phone's camera is better than mine." So
even he understands that proper cameras are better than phones.
Exactly. So yes, I do understand that. I'm sure that places like the Galapagos and stuff like that will be enjoyed by non-photographers as well. But anyway, you're going on a trip shortly, aren't you?
That's true. Yeah, I am flying to Europe. I'm going to have a European tour.
Very nice.
Around one country and one village next to the capital. So that's going to be my virtual tour. But we actually have some people from Slovakia watching us. So not going to see them, but if you are there, no, I'm going to be somewhere nearby.
There you go. It'll be the Con's European tour.
Exactly. to see my family, basically. Yeah. But I am shooting film, just full-on film. Yeah.
Nice. Just film, no digital camera.
Exactly. Film and yoga.
So those two things sound like quite a nice combination for a trip.
And sounds like yoga is going to hurt more than actually using film.
Yeah.
Because I'm not very flexible, let's be honest.
No, but you will be by the end of the trip. So Richard is going to purchase a D200 because he gave the last one to his sister. You can pick those up at a bargain now, Richard.
I bet he's missing that CCD sensor.
There's quite a few people who are saying, for example, the 180 to 600 is their next purchase, or they've already ordered it. We unfortunately still don't know when it's coming out. I wish we did.
Is it? It's well. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to find out because Japan supposed to come out with news yesterday. So, so while you're talking, I'm just going to go through my normal places where I source things from Japan, and you can report.
A few other people have said the Z8, or they recently purchased the Z8 and they're still waiting for it. Now, again, because of the service advisories, there's been a delay on stock of those. Any dealer that was lucky enough to have stock had to send it back to Nikon. We didn't even have any stock to send back to Nikon. So we're now waiting for them to update all their stock so that there are 0 service advisories, no problems with them. And then we will start getting shipments of Z8s and we will be able to send yours out if you've got one on order or you've paid for it or you've done a deposit or whatever. We really, really hope that that will be very soon.
That's true. I've got some update for you. I'm sure it's all over Nikon rumors anyway. But the official release date is Thursday, August 31st, 2023. And that's been announced yesterday, not what Nikon rumors reported before, because that was a bad report. This is the release date.
That's right.
Even if it's the same date, but
it's the same date. It's still in August. It's so funny. They said it was going to be in August, and they've decided it's going to be the last day of August.
It's like Z9 was released. It was released on Christmas Day, where no one worked. So it's like, so technically it's this year. But
just squeak it in under the line.
Exactly.
So that's that. Russell is getting a 14mm f2.8D delivered today. Ooh. Very nice.
Yeah, short and stubby.
Oh, quite domed in the front.
Yeah.
He says this will be my 26 f-mount lens, 36 total Nikon lenses. Wow. Now. Competing with Grays.
Impressive.
So I'm pretty sure I don't need to buy anything else.
Should start your own secondhand store.
Oh, I got sent some wonderful videos. One was of a secondhand photographic store in Spain. I sent it to you. Thank you to Andrew for sending it over to me. I did.
I didn't see it.
It's in Spanish. So anyway.
Oh, you've emailed. Yes. That's right.
That's
right. I'm thinking Instagram.
It's actually really, really a lovely video. So hopefully we're not doing a Nikon report next week, but the week after we'll have quite a lot of weekend read and watch suggestions for you. Yeah,
it's going to be a pain if you're going to release a retro camera next week, though, because I'm away. And I'm sure that's why they're going to release it next week.
They probably will.
Hopefully not, because because I need to rest, But I mean, we had some conversation about things. Maybe you will find interesting next week. So
yes,
tune into that.
So we do have a video coming out in Con's absence. Adrian says, sounds like you need a coffee. Thank you, Adrian, for your contributions to the coffee fund.
Coffee fund is open.
He has his coffee. I will get mine afterwards. I'm in dire need of it, but I will make it through the live stream without caffeination, and we'll see how we go.
And thank you, Fred. Fred says that he ordered Z1 8600 lens.
So thank you for your contribution to the Coffee Fund, Fred, and hope that you get one nice and early. I think, my biggest concern always about buying stuff when it's brand new or pre-ordered is I don't want to wait. So
I want it now.
I want it now. And I think that that's a problem that probably a lot of our viewers have. So I tend not to buy things at the point of release. I would rather hang on until a few people have had it in their hands and wait a bit longer.
But that's what rational brain tells you to do. You see, wait for maybe a year later, get it on some summer promotion.
Yes, I love summer promotions.
Or something like this. Like, let's say I can't afford one now, but I was looking to get the GFX 80mm lens. I think it's like 1 point something.
Oh.
And they released 2 years ago. And it's aperture. It's 1.7 or something like this.
Yeah, it's one that's GFX. In between the normal ones.
1.7. So came out, right?
Yeah.
Expensive lens.
Yeah.
Medium format lenses are expensive, right? And I was like, I'm going to wait for the summer promotion. 2 years later. Finally, the summer promotion, after 2 years, they have this promotion. It's like £500 off.
Spent all your money on other things.
But I spent all my money on other things. So I have to wait for another promotion. And hopefully it will find me.
That's very
And then you have to think, well, do I get this one? Do I get 85 1.2?
Yeah. It's tough. It's a challenge. It's very, very difficult. We are, I think, so spoiled now if you think about the number of systems that exist, the number of different lenses that exist. Obviously, there's always going to be something that we go, oh, that's missing from the lineup or from whatever. Are you looking for something?
Well, no, I'm just thinking you were saying too many things to purchase. And,
too many things to purchase.
The reason why we ask you what's your next photography purchase, because we bought something today.
We did.
Both of us.
Yes.
And it's not Nikon related. But we ordered
ASMR
it.
Channel.
Hey, how are you?
I don't want to say.
The thing is, you said like normally if you know the brand and you know what they do, you can confidently buy something that they make and you know that the quality is going to be there, right?
Yeah.
So would it be Nikon lens, let's say, or in our case, we bought a Voigtlander lens, you know, and it's the 28-8 color scopa for Leica.
Very nice.
That came out literally, what, a week ago?
It was August, so yeah, I think it was a week, 8, maybe 10 days ago.
Yeah, you know, and well, you know, I've read the reviews. Fred Miranda review, I can trust Fred Miranda. Again, you're talking about, you know, things you can trust. He says really good. It's tiny. It's perfect for my trip. You know, so I've got a modern version, but you went for the vintage version.
I went for the vintage version because my my Leica is very old Leica, and I felt like it needed the lens that would look the part. Basically.
Yeah, I don't know when my M4P came out. I assume it's 80s, but...
I don't know, mine's from the 50s. So anyway, I thought aesthetically that made sense to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Deborah just resubscribed to Nikon Owner. Yay!
Thank you.
All my next are already on order, Dave says. I'm sure the ZF will make its way into the mix. Yes, if we see it. Dave Luss just bought 2 additional batteries for a Z8.
Nice.
And Nightspringer said the next thing I'll be buying is a used D850 as cheap as possible and either a third party or the most beat up battery grip because it's more clack. More feel good.
And the thing is, the beauty of the battery packs that they're expensive when they come out, when they just released, but a few years later they like drop 80-90% of its value, so you can actually now pick up and what's it, MBD18 or MBD12? I'm old now. MBD18, I think.
Which one? D850?
D850.
D18,
so you can pick it up now for peanuts, really. I mean, compared to what it was like 360 odd pounds or so when it first came out.
It was £369 when it first came out, or 399, and now they're much cheaper than that.
I mean, I had one, but I bought it secondhand.
Yeah, so Nightspringer, do look out for a cheap one secondhand. I'm sure you'll be able to find one. Mark's getting his 2-time teleconverter if we finish playing with it. Yes, that will go out to you shortly.
Thanks for lending it to us.
Thank you so much.
You know, we mentioned last week, don't buy it, and then we said, don't buy 35 Ti. 35 Ti was sold.
Someone bought it.
Someone bought it.
I wonder if it was any of you that bought it.
I want my commission.
A few people have said, well, I'll buy a Z7 III or a Z6 III if Nikon decide to come up with it.
Well, we talked about things that, you know, like maybe some of you are saving up for next purchase. And I think Gen 3 cameras are probably going to be big sellers for Nikon whenever they come out, and we assume it's next year.
Yeah.
So I guess, yes, some of you are already preparing for the switch and allocating the money. I mean, it's what we actually were interested in as well. We talked about that, like, we had obviously pre-COVID years where kind of economy is booming, everything was going up. And then we had a COVID year and then lockdowns subsequently for another year or so. And then now we kind of like, it's an economy turned down, and we, like a lot of people say we're in recession now and inflations have gone up. And actually the question we want to ask is like, have you become a bit more conscious on your photography spending, let's say within the last couple of years, or it didn't affect you that much, or you buy what you want, or let's say you, instead of let's say buying new, you now switch to buying secondhand, etc., etc. So yeah, do let us know in the comments below. I would like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, we'd love to know, because, you know, we see certain trends, we see what people are doing, but we're only dealing with one brand and one sort of avenue of retail. I'm sure it will vary in different sectors as well, and also in different countries. It's funny because Guy said, isn't England part of Europe? Well, yes, Guy. No, it's part of the continent. Stop talking. It's part of the continent of Europe. But when English people say they're going traveling to Europe, they mean the other part that's not connected. We're part of the EU, which is a different thing. That's the European Union.
Thanks, Brexit.
Still part of the continent of Europe. We didn't didn't separate ourselves from the continent.
Don't, let me become very political, but
it is a very English thing, I would say.
To vote for Brexit?
No, to say, well, I'm traveling to Europe. Yeah. We're talking about crossing a body of water. Probably don't have the same thing in the States.
And if you do watch us from Europe, please know that British people, I don't know how they voted for Brexit, but actually I think a lot more people now realize that there was a wrong decision. And obviously me being fully British, not from this country,
can vouch for the whole of England.
Can vouch for the whole Europe and everything. We love you guys. You are the best.
Love it, exactly.
We should be all one part of one big thing together.
There we go. Randall says, nobody ever knows when anything that is coming out, anything that is coming out does until it does. Just save your pennies and watch a true rumorless stream, which I'm hoping is us. But thank you very much, Randall, for your contribution to the Coffee Fund.
Unfortunately, part of the entertainment nowadays became rumors, and it's just what we have to deal with nowadays. But did we say thank you to Jean, by the way?
No, I didn't see Jean. Sorry. Thank you very much.
Jean is saying good morning to us. Then we've got Randall, and he says nobody ever knows when anything that is coming out. So you've read this. Okay. Did you read Terry?
No, Ian. You missed Ian as well. Thank you, Ian, for your contribution. And
Terry says add to collection and get something nice.
Yes, exactly. And then to Ramo, thank you very much as well. There we go. So it's the island mentality that influences it all. Yes. So we're a little island. So we're traveling to Europe, even though we're in Europe, but we're traveling.
Even it takes 1 hour to fly anywhere in Europe, in London, and the cost of flights have gone up recently, but it's still reasonably cheap compared to, let's say, if you're flying somewhere to United States or Australia or, let's say, Hong Kong, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, exactly. So Russell says, I got the grip for my D500 for $80. I don't think I'll ever go back. That is an excellent price for a grip that was over £300.
Exactly.
So Night Springer is possible. Do definitely keep an eyeball out there.
Yeah. Neil Tim says, so thank you very much. And he says, Con's Brexit corner. Yeah, against Brexit corner. It's a very important point here, exactly. But everything's spelled with K from now on, like Mortal Kombat.
That's right, exactly. Seth, hi Seth, lovely to have you in the chat. He said, I've definitely been holding on to where I invest in gear lately. Day rates aren't as easy as they were for pros right now either. Yeah. Luckily, I've always been hoarding gear.
He shared some secret with me. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It's not a public announcement.
After the stream.
It's exciting.
You can tell me.
Yeah.
Can we have pumpkin spice cameras? Everyone is obsessed with pumpkin spice. It's true. The pumpkin spice season, very much an American thing, I would say, but eventually, gradually coming over here.
Yeah, I thought it was always around October.
So yeah,
it is. I mean,
it is, but now we start in September.
Okay, just like Christmas, basically. It's a countdown. Starts on basically 1st of August, and it's like, that's it. Christmas is coming.
Yeah, that's it. So with pumpkin spice, can we have pumpkin spice cameras or maybe pumpkin spice flavored lenses? I don't know, maybe.
I like chai latte. I'll take chai latte over pumpkin spice.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree. Chai is actually good. Chai meaning tea.
Yes.
Latte meaning milk. So it's tea milk.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a discussion yesterday about old places, coffees, and old places making milk coffees the same way. So if you order cappuccino, it's going to be the same coffee with milk. You order latte, it's going to be the same coffee with milk or flat white.
Yes.
And the consistency of the milk, the micro bubbles are not there.
No.
And then you get a big spoon and you just eat it off the thing, It's like a kilo of cacao on top,
This is very much, it's quite an old-fashioned way of thinking about coffee. When you go somewhere and you say, can I have a flat white? And they say, yeah, sure. And then they pass you this sort of soup dish full of coffee and you think, well, okay. So
where do I start? Okay. Let's dissect this. Yeah.
It is problematic.
Yeah. Well, we're thinking for this channel, maybe our new thing is going to be like commenting on the coffee place in London and then also tasting some sausage rolls, because some of you who watched us for a few years, our love for sausage rolls.
Mm-hmm, that's right. So we might add that as a little bonus segment.
Exactly.
The thing is that we have these conversations off camera and we don't have a third person just wandering around behind us.
Exactly. And recording all that.
Recording all the nonsense that we say when we're not filming each other. So Len says, I've gotten more careful with money, but I still buy lots of photo lighting stuff. And I do think that when it comes to buying equipment, just circling back to what Seth said, he said, I'm a hoarder. And I've definitely found, like, when I first started buying camera equipment, for myself, before I was given, from family members, I would say, could you buy me a camera for Christmas? And it was like a secondhand Kodak or whatever I was getting. And then as I started buying cameras for myself, for me, it was always, I have to sell something to buy something else. So there's a lot of pieces of equipment that I've sold over the years that then I kind of wish I hadn't. I wish I'd hung on to them, or opportunities where I could have bought something at a great price, but then I didn't because, you know, I didn't want to sell something that I had. Famous 35 1.4 AIS comes to mind on that one. And
I did the same.
I know.
But I'm actually happy with my decision.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I didn't go for one, and then you got it instead. So there you go.
That was a deal of a century.
It was a deal of a century.
That was 150 quid for a Min 35 1.4 AIS.
And I just didn't have anything that I wanted to sell at the point enough to then fund it. And now I think to myself, well, I'm not going to necessarily sell that item to fund that, because even though I might not be using it now, at some point I'm going to fall back in love with that item and I'm going to want to use it. So I have a series of manual focus lenses. Obviously, I've got five lenses for my Pentax 6-7. Like a decent collection of them. And I think I could sell one of these.
I could do with a couple more lenses.
I could sell one of these to then fund another lens, but
it's true.
But if you are not buying more equipment and you're hoarding equipment and hanging on to what you've got, then sometimes you literally come full circle and then you decide, you know what, that lens is really great. And we have a very lovely customer who I've dealt with for many years, and he was waiting for a new lens. And he said, and he would ask me every month, you know, it was like he had a little reminder in his calendar and he'd send me a little note and say, is this lens available yet? I'm like, still no.
Are we there yet?
But I remember you, don't worry. I'm thinking of you every time I see an allocation. And he said, you know what? It's okay, because while I've been waiting, I've dug out some of my older lenses and I've fallen back in love with my 105 1.4 or whatever it was. And I've decided to try that for some portrait work. And that worked out quite well for him. Still bought the new lens when it was available, but he didn't feel like he was missing out because he just used the equipment that he had, which was great.
I mean, it's one way to save money. You just go back to equipment you already have.
Yeah.
You know.
Excellent.
Exactly. That's already been paid for. Yeah.
So Greg says next for me will be the Footlender Nocton 50 F1 basically, a spherical in Z mount. Thanks to our video.
Me and you had this conversation, and I think when we talked about, like, we started to do those YouTube videos and kind of what we found, what was really excited us in the stuff we were reviewing. And one of the things is we've discovered for ourselves the Voigtlander brand.
Yeah.
It's something that, you know, I didn't know before I knew they existed, but I never had experience with them.
They weren't fully on our radar, I think, as lenses that we would like.
Exactly. And when we discovered them and tried different lenses, it just became a revelation. And in a way, I really enjoyed using them. And it's, again, this coming back to the same discussion of character versus clinical, you know, it's just something that, for me, in my photography journey at the moment, definitely, I really enjoy what Voigtlander puts out. Regardless if it's a Nikon Z stuff or if it's a Leica stuff, the lenses are superb. And before, I used to be the one like, manual focus on autofocus camera. Who does that? You know, it's like people who comments like, Nikon want to release a retro camera. What for? I hate this. You know, it's like, everyone is different.
Exactly.
Everyone is different. And, you know, and that's the thing. As long as they don't just, let's say, release a retro camera, as long as they release the other things, it's a fair game. If they just say, okay, we just release a retro camera from now on.
And nothing else.
Then it would be an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you look at, and this is slightly deviating from the point, but if you look at Fuji, for example, they've made a business out of releasing cameras that look like retro cameras.
Exactly.
Not full frame ones, but still their cameras have this very specific retro look.
So I would say like maybe 80% or 90% of all models are retro.
That's what I think. Yeah.
With about something like 10-20% of the modern ones.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And obviously the GFX series is slightly different, but if you look at the APC XF, is that what they call it? You know, then definitely they made money of it. But I think for Nikon it's good if they would keep maybe 10-20 retro.
Right.
The rest is more modern, so that because we're used to modern things nowadays.
We are, it's true. I have to say thank you to David.
Thank you, David.
He said Mexicans refer to Mexico City as Mexico. So we say I'm going to Mexico when you're not in the capital. The same for Oaxaca. You say I'm going to Oaxaca even if you're in Oaxaca but not in the city. So I suppose it's a similar thing like when people who are not in London exactly say they're going to London.
Yeah.
Except we're actually just going to London. I'm not sure, but,
Well,
but it's the
I
same
live in
as
London.
Europe. You do live in London.
You know.
It's very outer skirts of London.
But I live on the border.
10
But
minutes
technically, it's still London, you know?
10 minutes from me, but still, yeah.
But a lot of people say, actually, if it doesn't have the London postcode, then it's actually not London. But then you look at a place like Twickenham.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true. It's technically London.
But yeah, we also have to thank Champagne Sumo, who says no one has coffee with their whiskey yet. Well, we're on a job.
So we don't.
But we are not judging you.
You can have as much coffee with your whiskey.
And then we have Jakub Slovacek, I think, as he said. I'm waiting for the new flagship DX body, hopefully with IB's, finally, vibration reduction on the sensor. I personally agree with this. He sent us some Czech money. So I'm going to Slovakia. It's very near. It used to be one country, you know.
Long time ago.
So, but yeah, I might make my way to Prague one day. I've never been to. It's beautiful, apparently.
Love to go to Prague. He also says new Viltrox 1.2 lineup for it. Also Ineos 15 and the 75 1.2 and also the 23 1.2 looks great. So it looks like you've got quite a shopping list there. Yeah.
We want to try Viltrox. We haven't. We don't have access to it. So if Viltrox wants to reach to us.
We will just say it every week until someone from Viltrox.
Exactly.
So it's like, hi, we're here. We'd like to review your lenses.
Exactly. But like, we would love to try Viltrox lenses because if you look on, online, people are raving about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. David is much like you. His 40mm Vogtlander lives on his FM3.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. 40 f2. Been using one yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. That was the combination that you had.
That's what I've upgraded to from 35 1.4 AIS, and it's it's not something that a lot of people would find there like a logical way to do that. A lot of people say, well, I would go for 35, but I do really enjoy this 40 f2, and this is my kind of, it sits permanently on my FM3A, and maybe eventually I'll add 28 Voigtlander to it. We had this discussion yesterday because 28 Voigtlander is a bit shorter, and 28 Nikon AI is a little bit longer.
2.8, yeah.
2.8 version. So
it's a bit bigger, which is a shame because it makes it slightly less portable. I had the Nikon 28mm 3.5. It was actually a pre-AI conversion, and someone was selling a 2.8 at a great price. It was basically almost could straight swap it. So I bought the 2.8, but it is a bigger lens. It's still the one that I automatically go, oh, if I'm going to go out with one lens, I'll take the 28 with me, more so than a 40 or a 50.
Not 35.
I don't have a 55.
35.
Sorry, I don't have a 35 was what I was trying to say. I was going to say I have a 55, I don't have a 35. But the 55 is also quite big. So
true.
I was thinking, I've got a 55, I've got a 28. I need a 40, maybe, to sit in the middle of those two.
Remind me, what were your thoughts on 55 1.2 Voigtlander compared to your Nikon 1.2?
To be honest, for film, like wide open, both of them are not sharp. There's no sharpness there. The Voigtlander does have kind of punchier colours. Yeah,
I think it's to do with more than coatings.
Very much so. But I would say if you can pick up a Nikon 55 1.2 for under £300, which you can, that is an absolute bargain because it's a beautiful lens.
Fair enough.
It's not going to win any sharpness awards, but neither is the Voigtlander. The Voigtlander is probably fractionally sharper, but again, neither of them are sharp wide open. Vince says that the Lauer 15mm stubby has piqued his interest. Thank you very much for your contribution.
And if Lauer is watching us, we haven't tried Lauer lenses yet as well. Yeah, there's so many lenses to try, isn't it?
That's right.
Exactly.
I mean, we have had the great fortune of trying TT Artisan lenses and 7 Artisans.
7 Artisans, yeah.
7 Artisans. Is there anyone else that we've...
Well, we're going to try Pergear soon.
Oh, that's
so it's on the way to us.
Yeah.
We're going to try that. We tried something else.
Yeah, but I can't think what it was. Someone who's watched all our videos might know. I've
forgotten. Well, clearly they haven't sent anything to us after that, so they did love our review.
Maybe they didn't like it. George says, love your channel. Been watching you since 2020. Thank you, George. I've been waiting since spring 2022 to purchase the Z6 III and 1430, 24 120 and 105 macro. I mean, those are great lenses. Yeah. I have had this discussion with a lot of people recently about the 24 120 f4 and just how good that lens lenses for...
You were saying that some people use it for macro.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a true macro lens. And sometimes, as we were discovering yesterday when we were out shooting with the 70 to 180 Z, if you're doing real macro work, those zoom lenses just don't get you close enough. It's very frustrating if you're used to a macro lens and then you suddenly go for a zoom that isn't really a macro lens, but can focus quite close, because you always end up being too close for it and having to take a step back. But if you have something like a Z8 or a high resolution camera and you're happy to crop, 24-120 really holds the resolution. So yes, I have had a few people say that they can use it as a kind of stand-in for a macro until such a time as they buy a macro lens. But the as Patrick says, the 105 MC is the sharpest lens I ever owned. I cannot fault it. I never go out with that lens and come back disappointed with the results. Doesn't matter what I'm shooting, whether I specifically go to shoot macro or I took it to a place that we've been quite a few times, Nyman's. You won't remember which one it is, but we've been there like 3 times now.
One of the National Trust places. And it's like when you've been to one church, they all look the same.
Yeah. Well, with Nyman's, it's the one with the house that doesn't have the roof on it.
Ah, okay.
We did the 70 to 300 Tamron video.
Okay, yes, gotcha. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah,
nice.
so
I mean, they're all nice.
They're
really.
all nice, but I went there with the 105 macro, no other lens, on a family day trip. And it's like, why would you take a 105 lens out to something like that? But I got so many shots that I was really happy with. And they weren't pictures of flowers either. It was like little details of brickwork, or I had the kids playing in the distance and I could get a nice shot of them, some lovely portraits. I cannot fault that lens. And I've talked about it enough now. So
that's true. People asking about things we haven't tried. So John Banks says Metacon. So Metacon lens, I tried the 65mm for GFX. I think it's 1.4.
Right.
And that lens is beautiful as long as you shoot it wide open. Fully wide open, you get this kind of filmic Pentax 6.7 look. Like a lot of people compare it to 105 2.4. And it is true. It's fantastic. So not super sharp, but it's just the rendering is beautiful. Stop down, it becomes a modern lens. Not that exciting, but there's a reason why a lot of people shooting GFX are raving about this lens. And then we have a question from David Mascora, and he's asking if we ever used Flickr Film, which is a Canadian company. I haven't used one. You didn't either. No, they do this Electra, which is a repackaged Kodak Aerochrome film. And then they do the all those Vision 3 repackaged, like 250D, 500T, yada. So we haven't tried those yet, but I definitely want to try some ECN2 films in the future and maybe try to do process myself. It's the ones without the remjet remove.
Yeah.
And you have to develop them first. Remove the remjet, which is this kind of a very kind of sludgy black layer, and then you develop it either as a CN2 process or C41.
Oh, wow. I didn't... Do they supply it in the UK?
Yeah, there's one distributor. We haven't worked with them yet.
Yeah.
So I think it says JF Photographic or something like that.
Okay, that's definitely one to check out. So Nightsbringer said that he was given an old 105 old school AIS that weighs about 8 kilos. It's not quite that heavy, but it is heavy. Still not sure what the little screw on the housing does, but I'll figure it out one day. I'm just trying to think if it's the tightening screw for the collar for the PN11. I think it might be. I'd have to pick one up and tell you, but you can always drop me an email and I'll check it out. I can't quite remember off the top of my head if it's that. Guy is eagerly awaiting Nikon to announce 35 1.2. Deframe 10 said getting my 400 2.8Z today.
Nice,
Woohoo.
Congrats.
We'll be eating beans and rice for the next year to pay for it. I understand. 400 2.8 is a beautiful lens. We are really struggling to get hold of those over here.
Yeah.
We haven't seen one in quite some time. Don't quite know what the hold up is, but that one's quite a tough one to get hold of. Another person asked me about Z8s on order. As I said earlier at the beginning of the stream, we don't have news at the moment, but we know that Nikon are just trying to clear all the service advisories so that basically whatever cameras they send to us are absolutely perfect, so there will be no problems with them. And that might mean that we're taking a few extra weeks because we were really hoping to have free stock by now.
Do you think there's a person at Nikon whose job is just go take the camera and do boop?
Just check. And then
put it inside the box.
And then maybe put a lens on and just double check. Maybe. Thank you to Chris for your contributions to the Coffee Fund
Thank you, Chris.
well. Very much appreciated. Quite a few people agreeing that the 105 is marvelous.
Beautiful lens. I mean,
Yeah.
I think one of our ideas we have maybe shoot 105 macro lens, and because a lot of people say, well, shall I just buy this one and use it for portraiture as well as macro? And previously 105, the F version, 2.8 VR G, you could use for portraiture, just the bokeh was a bit kind of busy.
Yeah, I didn't like it for
nervous.
portraiture. I don't know what it was. It wasn't just the bokeh, but it just didn't have that separation that you get with portrait lenses.
That's true. And obviously macro lenses are optimized for close focusing, so they're not really good like mid-range or at infinity.
No.
So I think one of our kind of to-do list video is to try that Z105 as a portrait lens.
Yes, I think that we should do that test at some point.
Compared with 85 1.2, which we unfortunately just don't have access to at the moment. So
exactly. So Sam's next purchase will probably be a pressure washer. Not sure if that's a photography purchase, but anyway.
To pressure wash your lens elements.
Which said a force washer, so maybe that's different.
For sense cleans, probably. You want to put the 3,000 bars on it, pressure, you know?
Or a ticket to Analog Wonderland's Nottingham Weekender.
I saw that email,
Yeah.
It's a bit far.
It is
for
far.
us Londoners, you know.
We'd love to go.
Yeah. You know, we always say, "Oh, we are London." You know, I know that London is not the rest of the UK. That's true. It's not the center of the world, but it's a long travel. So I personally think that there's a niche for someone to do Analog Spotlight London edition.
Yes, I would love us to have an Analog Spotlight in London, because obviously in the photo video show that's in Birmingham, which we're now not having until next year, there was a huge section on film, much bigger last year than previous years, which was great. This is obviously just a completely dedicated Analog Spotlight in Nottingham, which is marvelous, but we'd love to have something like that in London. So yes, I agree. Force washer for film processing in the super tank. Sorry, I read it as I was immediately went to pressure washing for your driveway.
And I followed with your line of thought.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that is a bit more photographic related as opposed to pressure washing your driveway.
Not a patio cleaner.
Not patio.
Okay.
So I mean, there's a couple of questions that we can't answer. Patrick said, I'd love to purchase an FTZ with a built-in AF motor, because we asked about that a few weeks ago.
That's true. Trust me, we all keeping our fingers crossed for anything that is not out yet and you think Nikon should make. You know, we just, go to church, put a candle on, just put things, whatever you want me to do,
We'll try our best.
Definitely. Of course, it would be nice.
It would be nice. Yeah. Sam suggests we talk to Analog Wonderland. We do. I talk to them quite regularly, but I should just say hey, you guys.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
All right, mate.
Yeah, Emma went to Australia. Here's the Analog Wonderland update for you.
That's right. And
so they have a new girl now.
Their new head of marketing, I think, is Amy.
Yeah.
So anyway, we like Analog Wonderland are, a company that we really resonate with, and I'm really happy with everything that they're doing for the film community. So makes me happy. Thank you to Greg for your contribution to the Coffee Fund. Very much appreciated. Bubba von Braun is going to work with the 400 2.8 next month. Looking forward to it. Are you hiring it, Bubba? And if so, where did you manage to hire it from? Or I don't know, maybe you're borrowing it from a friend or something like that. But yeah, definitely. There you go. Nightspringer said, yes, it's a focus lock screw. A couple of people were saying it's a focus lock screw. You're completely right. It's a focus lock screw. So thank you to everyone who answered that one. This community answers the questions,
Which is good. That's what we're striving for.
Exactly. Bubba says via MPS in Seattle. That's very cool. We really hope that when the 180 to 600 becomes available, we know there's one in the UK that's kind of doing the rounds, but pretty sure that Rishi or Neil from Nikon School have it 90% of the time. But at some point, we're hoping it will make it to the store, and we'll do a Nikon Open Day. It's usually our Nikon Open Days are on Fridays. So, if you were going to be watching the live stream, then maybe you can just pop into the shop and see the lens in the flesh if you want to do that. But I don't have a date yet. So as soon as I do, I will definitely make it well known, because I'd love for people to come in and be able to try the Z8, the Z9. We've got the Z9 on demo all the time, all the other Z cameras. Most lenses, not all of them, are on demo. So you can always try them out. And the 180 to 600 is something that we would have to kind of borrow for a day so that people could have a look at it. But I'd be very excited to see that.
I wonder if they're gonna maybe they'll have Bruno over or something.
Yeah, probably Bruno, who is fantastic and so knowledgeable.
From NPS,
yeah, he's not from NPS. He's a Nikon trainer.
Yeah.
Do you have 70 to 180 here?
Somewhere.
Here. So we also have this now on demo. This has actually got a teleconverter on it, but we have this exciting thing on demonstration now. So you can try it out. You can come into the store and actually try out the 70 to 180 if you want to see what it's like for yourself. One thing that we offer in the shop, and I don't know if people realize that, but you can come in with your camera, or if you don't want to bring your camera, you can bring in a memory card. You can even buy a memory card if you don't have a memory card. And you can try out any of our equipment, and then you can take that memory card or your camera home.
Not our equipment.
Not our equipment. You can look at the shots and then make your decisions. We used to, before the days of YouTube really taking off, people would come in all the time and they would, bring a memory card or their camera, and they would try out 3 or 4 different lenses. They'd go out, I think Charwood Place, is that the one across the road from us?
Yes.
Yeah, Charwood Place, probably one of the most photographed streets in all of London.
When you said that, I thought it was some another National Trust place that we've been to, and I just don't remember.
It's like Chartwell or something, yeah. The street opposite us is probably more photographed than Abbey Road, but it's pretty well photographed, and people would come and they would do their own brick wall tests, and they would, take pictures of unsuspecting pedestrians walking across the street, and then they'd take those shots home and they would compare them and go, so that's how that lens performs. That's what people used to do before YouTube. Now they just watch us doing it.
The world has changed.
There you go.
Actually, we have Ian with an update on DK17M, because DK17M search.
David's got one.
Yeah, it's been happening for months now on our live stream. So he found one on eBay. So thanks for updating, Ian. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you very much for your contribution to the coffee fund as well. Guy wants to know if we're coming to the B&H Build Expo in NYC in September. Matt Granger will be doing a photo walk. Are we going to New York in September, Con?
Is B&H buying us a ticket and flying us over, dining us and wining us?
No, just dining and then wining and dining.
And then Seth comes in and is like, you sold yourself to the competitors.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it, unfortunately.
No, but if I'm in New York, I want to definitely see the workshop studio, the Adorama's workshop studio, the brand new one.
Yeah.
It's all blue, the royal blue.
It's very, Where did they get that idea from?
Exactly.
There are a few people who have said they've gotten their hands on the 180 to 600. Probably the only one that's in the UK.
How was it?
So Gordon said absolutely brilliant, and Matt said it's not small. So yeah, I have a feeling it's not small.
Yeah, 200 to 500 also not small, I guess.
No.
I guess that's the reason why I never went with this type of lens.
No.
It's too big.
Yeah, I'm not a sort of everyday wildlife photographer. This is a good size. It's not quite long enough, but it's a good size, and it works with teleconverters, which is nice. And we were really pleasantly surprised with the results. In fact, our video on Sunday is about this versus the 70 to 200. So
is it? Okay.
Yeah. Is it? Is it really?
Is that what we did? Yeah, you remember when we filmed it?
No, that's what we did.
Don't remember doing that.
J-Rod Photo Art says Nikon birders are going to love the 180 to 600. I think it's definitely a lens for wildlife and birders. Sam said that Seth would fly us over first class. And Adorama to go and see B&H's photo conference.
That would be even better. I'm definitely up for it.
I'm totally up for it.
But yeah, I have a feeling we're going to see Seth this year.
Yes.
I have a feeling.
Yes. This year.
This year.
Wow. There's not much left of this year. So it's
going to be published on Nikon Rumors.
Okay. There was another comment that I wanted to read. Oh, someone was asking, Andy said, what days are we usually here? You should drop us an email, Andy. It does vary a little bit from time to time, but we're here on Fridays.
Because live stream is from here.
The live stream is from here. We're here on Mondays because we podcast on the Mondays. And then I'm here on the Wednesdays. But if you want us both here at exactly the same time, then it's Mondays and Fridays. So
Yeah.
there you go. Sometimes people do come in and they say, oh, is Becky and Con here? And they say, yes, but they're actually filming right now.
But also Monday is not the full day as well. So,
No, that's true. So you have to pick your time. But you can always drop us an email over to the info@Gray's email address, and then we can work something out so that you can see us. Christian says, I have 2 AH4 hand straps on my cameras, bought them many moons ago. Do you know if those are still being made? As far as I know, they're discontinued. Do you remember the AH4?
Yeah, I had a question from Len, emailed us about
That was an LN4.
LN4, and I've checked for it. Yeah, those are out. And then because I went to check about this, we have AH4Y? No, which one do you have? AN4s we have.
Well, the AH is the hand strap.
The hands are, yeah. So we have AN4s, which are neck straps. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So the AN4s are little skinny neck straps, and then they do a yellow version with black trim, and then they do an all black version. AH4s have been discontinued for a while, so it would be a matter of finding secondhand. In fact, I think that they discontinued them around the time of the D700 or shortly after, because cameras after the D700 had different size screens and you couldn't fit the base plate onto the D800 comfortably. Although some people still did. But
that's right. I mean, I could mention Peak Design straps, but I feel like I'm going to get murdered in the chat.
Someone will
people are very opinionated
attack.
about those. Exactly.
So maybe we don't do that. And the drunk wedding photographer, which is David, said, Ian, I have one in case you get outbid. The DK17M, this is talking about this DK17M.
Exactly. I know, it's I'm telling you,
it's like gold dust.
I think we're gonna have like Easter eggs in some videos, like just putting DK17M on things. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Jimmy, the podcast is called The Nikon Report. It is filmed as well, so we put it out on our YouTube channel, but we also put it out in audio version so that you can either listen to it or watch it, or both if you feel like going through it twice.
Exactly.
Obviously, the YouTube version has all the pretty pictures.
Yeah, because I'm editing it, I'm hearing it like 5-10 times at least.
Yeah.
You know, I know it by heart by then. I'm finishing with it.
Recite it like Hamlet's soliloquy.
And I was like, you said this? Becky said this?
Yeah. That's right. The DK17M saga is exactly what it is.
Exactly.
Matt asked a nice question. He said, what are you both planning / dreaming of having next? So what are you dreaming of next? Or planning?
I don't dream. I'm so exhausted by the end of what I want next in photography. Okay, so we have access to Z8, so that's good.
Yes.
So we don't need that. The retro camera, for me personally, would be an interesting choice. I think I would have to cry if it's 24 megapixels. You know, I would have to be really kind of, you know, I was like, yeah, it's fine. And, you know, but overall, because like for my personal photography, I use manual focus lenses. I don't need fast autofocus. I like my character lenses. I put sometimes Leica mount lenses on Z6. So, and I would shoot with what's called the hyperfocal distance. You know, so I pre-focus my depth of field. My aperture would allow for certain things, and I'll shoot the subject on the same distance. So for me, having a retro camera to replace my Z6, while doesn't sound like a rational choice because I don't need speed of autofocus.
Yes.
And it's mainly for the looks, unless it is some sort of a new sensor. I don't know. We'll see. You know, but I think that would be cool for me. You know.
Yeah, I do actually agree with that line of thinking, because also as a Z6 owner, like I love my Z6. I can't really fault it. I don't have any complaints about it. But sometimes I think having something with just slightly newer interface, a few of those extra features and things like that. Nikon have been really good with the firmware updates.
Yes, true.
So,
I mean, there's lots of buts and ifs in this logic because we don't know what it's going to be.
No.
But this is kind of my thinking, because it needs to be very well built. It needs to feel like a film camera.
Yeah.
You know, like this is very important, you know, and the cost of this, because technically if it's a 24 megapixel camera, it doesn't really make sense, you know, to upgrade from Z6 to one of those. Like just for the image quality, you know, but obviously there's a talk of it being a newer sensor, and who knows, maybe low light is going to be a lot better than Z6, you know, you never know. So, but like, this is what I'm thinking about now. I mean, I'm happy where I'm at with my film photography and equipment I have. Obviously there's like, we just got 28. I already have 28 for Leica. So, but you can't have enough 28s in your arsenal. So, so I'm happy with that. But as a, one of the things that I would like to add to my Nikon professional setup for commercial work is I would like to add 85 1.2. The problem with this right now, it's very expensive and it's big and heavy.
Yes.
So I need to justify enough use to justify the cost of it. And also, the weight is not that important because the thing is, I'm not going to carry it with you all the time. It's usually going to be for commercial shoots. But because it's so expensive and because 85 1.4G is a very lovely lens and I will lose a lot of money on it when I'm going to upgrade, I can't justify it at the moment. But I think that's something that I will be definitely looking into at some point next year. Mm-hmm. What about you?
So I think film photography wise, so I was gifted recently a Mamiya 645, lovely camera.
It's a nice present.
Haven't had the chance to use it. I had to get it fully serviced and cleaned, and it is now in working condition. So I feel like medium format camera wise, I said several months ago, I said, I'd like another medium format camera. I'd like a Mamiya. I ended up somehow magically manifesting and ended up with like 3 of them. So I need to stop now. Hope my husband's not watching.
See me doing this way. I want.
Yeah, you just need to.
I claim.
As I say, manifesting. But then when it comes to digital equipment, yes, a better low light performer, I think, would be the only thing that I would be demanding of the Z6.
How often do you shoot in low light?
Well, I used to shoot in low light a lot. Yeah. At the moment, it's less, but.
But we basically in a month it's going to start to get dark again, and then we're going to be in the darkness till about April next year.
Right.
That's
and
true.
Then it's going to become a problem. But I definitely don't have the same sort of considerations on shooting at higher ISOs like I used to when I was shooting with D700 or even D750, which was pretty good anyway in low light. I would love if, money was no object for more commercial work, I would love a 50 1.2.
Oh yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Yes. It's a lovely lens.
I really like the 50 1.2, and I think for me that is a lens that, although it's big and heavy, I could probably see myself using an awful lot. I have used it for a few events. Are you showing it off now?
No, I want to make a point about the size of the lenses, really.
Yeah. So why is the 50 1.2 so big?
Exactly. So 50 1.2 is about this size.
It's
okay,
actually,
maybe
it's fatter.
It's fatter, but it's about this size.
Yeah.
This is the difference.
Yeah.
And the thing is, 51.2 is lovely. How often are you going to take with you just for general stroll around town?
No, I'm not. But
exactly.
I did, when long-term viewers will remember when we did the one lens challenge.
Yeah, doing banana for scale.
Banana for scale. Yeah. You remember the one lens challenge?
Yes.
Yeah. So we did a one lens challenge, and mine was the 51.2, and I used that lens the whole month and got some fantastic shots out of it. It was December/January. It was very low light, lots of lovely bubbly bokeh. I used it at a couple of those sort of like Christmas markets and festivals, perfect for stuff like that. Also used it for a commercial event last summer, Food and Wine Festival. Yeah. Every shot that I took,
shots are amazing.
Yeah, every shot that I got from that I liked was on the 50. So.
And by the way, the point I was trying to make has nothing to do if you, let's say, like the choice of the lens purchase. If you're a professional photographer, it's not a big deal.
No.
You're buying it, you're going to use it, you're going for specific look and speed of autofocus. Those are very different things. But what I'm trying to say is that some of you are professional photographers.
Yeah.
Some of you are keen enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And some of the keen enthusiasts maybe will find this lens that they may purchase it, leave it at home because it's too big and too heavy, and then it's just going to sit on a shelf.
Which we don't want.
Exactly. So, and my point I'm trying to say is like Nikon needs to release smaller lenses. Yeah. Just because like I like the 28, I like the 40. 50, 24, 1.8s, they're nice size 35s, but I still feel like they could go a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did the 26 and the 28 comparison a few weeks ago. We did some street photography with that. Great size lenses, just need a smaller camera to make it more discreet.
Yeah, my point is they should coexist, not one over another. Because I know that some people are going to start to comment like this. No, it's like, it would be nice to have different lines. Yes.
So to answer a couple of questions, Gordon, yes, manual focus lenses give focus peaking on the Z8. Howard, who's wondering about the 50 f1 and 55 1.2 Voigtlanders, we've got a video We've got a video just for you. We did that comparison. So do go check that out. I think we had slightly varying opinions, but you can see the results and make a decision for yourself there. Now, thank you to Howard for your first ever contribution to the Coffee Fund. And also thank you to Randall, who said, medium format to take close-up pictures of flowers. I do not just take pictures of flowers, just to clarify.
I think that's like Becky said that she's got my Mi-A7 and she doesn't click with it yet. The thing about rangefinder photography and macro photography is, well, Leica lenses focusing to up to about 70 centimeters.
Yeah.
I think my Mia lenses go to about 1 meter.
Yeah.
So which means it's not really a good option for macro photography.
No. But as I say, I don't just take pictures of flowers. Thank you very much. 1111 Undici 1111 says, interesting topic to investigate related to photography. Ocular dominance is the tendency to prefer visual input from one eye to the other. He is left eye dominant. So am I. So I only ever focus and use my left eye to compose and focus with. When I shoot with my right eye, I feel like there's something wrong, which is strange. I think it's unusual to be left eye dominant, but I know a lot of people who are. Anyway, Champagne Sumo says you should start a new fund to get you some more equipment.
Yeah, I mean, we can't complain. We are... Luckily, because of this channel, we are lucky to try new things. And obviously, working on Grays or Westminster. So the reason why we are so opinionated is because we tried a lot of things.
Yes.
If you won't try something, like you say, we haven't tried Laowa, we haven't tried Wheeltrock, so we don't know what to tell you about this. But because we tried different things, we know that there's a market for different things as well. So it's not like one over another. That's the thing. But yeah, if someone wants to start a Kickstarter or a fund, go fund con fund.
Go fund cons.
Exactly.
1.2 lens fund.
Here's my crypto wallet. And
thank you very much to Terence for your first ever Coffee Fund contribution as well. Sam said, no one wants a small mug of tea. It's true. Size does matter when it comes to lenses. Now, Night Springer says, does anyone else keep both eyes open on telephoto lenses, like one eye on the subject and one through the viewfinder? This is actually what dot sights are used for. So you have both eyes open and then you can focus on the subject and kind of see where your focus point is. It takes a bit of getting used to. I think it's a great idea. I think that actually having the back screen, I don't know if this is for other people, but like having the LCD screen means that you can kind of do both at the same time, have both eyes open. Obviously, when you're using your eye to the viewfinder, I don't see how I'd be able to have both eyes open, but...
True. You need a bigger viewfinder.
Yeah, or like a smaller viewfinder.
Like a window.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
On a boat or airplane. It's interesting. People really engage with this topic. I never thought which eye I'm dominant, but I assume it's a right one. But
you're right-eyed.
Probably.
Yeah. And right-handed.
Yes.
And I'm right-handed and left-eyed.
From where I'm from, you can't be left-handed. You see, they used to teach you how to write with the right hand, even if you would be left-handed.
That's so interesting. So
that's
I think 4 of my immediate family members are all left-handed. So, but anyway, yes, I'm strange. Just like I think we're all strange.
Yeah. Maybe I'm secretly left-handed. I just they kicked it out of me.
Yeah, they did. Suppressed it out of you.
Yeah.
Both eyes, yes, for very fast-moving subjects like falcons. Andy says. So there you go. And so Andy said, if you're right-handed and left-eye dominant, then you're cross-lateral. He's left-handed and right-eye dominant. So I didn't know that was a thing. Steve is also left-eye dominant.
I'm afraid if I say something here, I will be politically incorrect. So I have to be,
What about left eyes and right hand?
I just don't know. I never thought of that, but it's an interesting topic.
Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah, it is interesting. Anyway, we've just about wrapped up for time here. So next week, as far as I know, I may be streaming solo, unless someone wants to come and join me. Still come over, be a guest on the live stream. So
they don't come to us next week. You come to all of them.
Yes, exactly.
At the same time.
Exactly. But I will see you next Friday. As I say, we have a comparison video coming out on Sunday. We've got a little point of discussion video coming out on when are you publishing that?
Probably Tuesday.
Yeah,
something like this. Yeah.
Good.
Need to edit it. But yeah, I won't see you next week. We had a good run. Thank you very much, everyone.
He'll come back refreshed.
Yeah, hopefully. And then with a new energy hopefully maybe a new release.
There might
maybe
be
release
a
is going to happen
camera.
before, you know?
Wouldn't that be so
Exactly. That would be,
exciting?
yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so I will see you next week. Have a great weekend all. Take lots of photos. And if you need any Nikon equipment, then you know where to come. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Said Becky after we were talking about every other brand but Nikon today.
That's right. But if you want Nikon, you know where
Come
to
see
come.
us. Exactly.
Take care. Bye.
Good to see you all. Ciao.